All right, bet. Welcome back, world, to the Verbal Intercourse Podcast. Got your host, Nick Walker, in the building. Back with you today. Shout out to everybody who's been listening, subscribing, supporting the podcast. Really appreciative over here at Verbal Intercourse Jackson. And today, got a very special guest. Man, this dude is man, this dude is like a big brother to everybody, man. He's like he's like one of those guys that's just known around the city as just having all of the advice, all of the knowledge, all the answers. Shout out to
Elon.
Shout out to Martin Swoll White. I'm gonna just call you Swoll for the for the interview, man. Just to stay informal as possible, bro. Man, how you feeling today, brother?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. How you?
Man, I'm good, dog. I'm chilling, man. I had a short day at work, man, so I'm definitely in a good mood, man. Got paid today, so
come on, man.
Hey,
Johnny Kim just got paid. It's Friday night. Come on, man. Let me borrow a dollar.
It's Friday night, bro. Just bought a bottle, man. I'm chilling, man. So man, yeah, we're gonna get right on into it. But before we get into it, man, I have to say the purpose of this podcast, because I was just talking to some friends the other day, and they was just saying that, you know, we always, when we have these platforms, we always need to say the purpose of our platform. So the purpose of my platform is to not only provide entertainment, but knowledge to the millennial group. And I want that to be entertaining as possible. I want it to come out as smooth as possible, not preaching at you, but just giving you game as well as having fun, man. So yeah, I definitely had to get that off my chest. But yeah, man, let's just get right on into it, man. Man, like I said, today, special guest, Martin White, Mr. Swoll, and we gonna get right on into it, man. How did you get your name Swoll? Of course you got the of course, if you ain't watching this, you see this nigga, he swole as hell. But how you get that name? Who gave it to you, man?
Man, this hoodie is actually a 7X.
Really?
So I just look. Nah, I'm playing, man. But
you had me for a minute.
Nah, man, the story, man, is funny because I didn't name myself Swoll.
Yeah.
DJ Scrap Dirty, shout out to Scrap, named me Swoll. So the funny story to that is about 20 years ago, and this is actually my entry point into the music business. I was an intern at Hot 97.
Oh, that's lit, cuz.
Yeah, I was an intern, but I still had the same statue. Right. So whenever artists would come through the station and they would do concerts, I would always be on stage with the artists. So one day at the station, Scrap was like, he was just going off on everybody. You know what I'm saying? You know how Scrap is. He short man syndrome, all that good stuff. Anyway, he going off for everybody. He's like, and you, why you always on stage with the artists like you the security or something? Just a big Swoll nigga. You know what? That's your name. Big Swoll. That's it. And it just stuck. And it just literally that's the story.
Man, that's crazy, dog. So man, you seem like a jack of all trades, a renaissance man. You know, I feel like everybody, you know, if you follow his page, he's always having positive things to say. He's not even just positive things to say. He's very intuitive, very knowledgeable about a lot of things. Like I said, you know, you're a Christian, you're a father, you're a financial coach, you're a life insurance coach specialist. Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about how you got your hands on so many different things, and you know, how do you have the time to actually do all of those things?
Now, time is one thing, man, because I'm trying to manage it all, from being a dad to, you know, my business and financial services, life insurance and investments, to being a leader in church, you know, to being a student, you know what I'm saying, because I'm in an adult program at Belhaven.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So time is one thing, just trying to manage it all. But man, I got into it honestly and truthfully, Nick, man, life.
Right.
And I say that, man, because even with the things I was doing in the music business, I had a regular job. You know what I'm saying? I had a regular job. I was in corporate banking at Trustmart.
Okay.
So great job, man, great pay, great benefits. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have to talk to customers, open accounts, nothing like that. I was in corporate banking, black man corporate banking, no college degree.
Wow.
So, shoot, you got it made.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But truth of the matter is, bro, I got tired of going to work.
Yeah.
Just being real. I got tired of going to work and just punching the clock because I felt like God had more within me than just being stuck behind those four walls. Just real talk. Bro.
That's real.
So I'm praying to God. I'm like, you know what, God, put me in a position to where I have my time back, but I'm also still able to make income. And so during this time, there was a lot of things that was happening in my life that I like to call defining moments. And, you know, I think everybody has defining moments that really sets their lives on a totally different trajectory.
Real.
I had 3 of those defining moments. Number 1 was the increase of murders of black men in our community. So your Trayvon Martins, your Philando Castilles, these things are starting to happen and increase. So I was like, you know what? I have a voice, I have an influence to where I can be a mentor and a positive role model to the men in our community. So that's defining moment number 1.
That's real.
Defining moment number 2 is when I found out I was becoming a parent and I had a son coming into the world. So that was the defining moment because I said, as soon as I became a parent, I wanted to have all the time in the world for my child, taking the doctor's appointments, things like that. I didn't want to have no time constraints. You follow me? Last defining moment, man, was I'm the only child. So my dad was diagnosed with stage 4 kidney cancer. And so when that happened, my mom would call me to come back to her house to help her with my dad due to his cancer, you know, diagnosis. He would have episodes due to it. So I have to leave work, go to her house, come back to work on a pretty regular basis. So one of these times when I got back to work, I was in training in this new department and I fell asleep. So my supervisor woke me up and she was like, you know what, Martin, maybe we made a mistake in hiring you in this department. Yeah. So picture this 5'3", 5'2" little white lady telling me this. Now, I was very transparent, let them know everything that was happening with my dad. You feel me? So when she said that, it just really added fuel to the fire, me wanting to get out of the corporate structure. So that's what really added fuel to the fire, but I didn't know how to get out. You feel me? So stayed at Trustmark for like 2-3 years. After that, my dad passed away, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? But had a good friend reach out to him, and he was like, hey, man, I think I have something that can benefit our community. So I was like, shoot, I'm out game for it. Like, what I got to do? So he was like, man, come to my school. I'll break it all down to you. So I went to his school, sat down with him, sat down with my now mentor by the name of Corey Bloom. They pretty much broke it all down to me to where I can position myself to be more of an asset to our community and teaching them and helping them when it comes down to their personal finances itself. So started my journey then, got licensed. You know what I'm saying? This was like September 2016. Didn't do nothing with my license because Trustmark owned a company that does what we do, so it would have been a conflict of interest. So
that's crazy.
So stayed at Trustmark until February 6, 2017. That was the date that Trustmark left me. I got fired. So my son is like 7 months old at the time. Nick, I had no savings. I'm working in a bank. I have no savings whatsoever. Right? Still got bills, still got things that's coming in because I created a lifestyle for myself, right? So the first person that I called, I didn't call my mom. I didn't call my son's mom. I called my mentor, and I was like, hey, man, listen, this is what happened. I'm frustrated. I don't know what I'm going to do. He said, Swoll, you can look at it one of two ways, bro. You can be mad at it, or now you can look at it as God answering your prayers and giving you what you've been praying for, which is time, to where now you can go and build a business to where nobody can take that away from you or your son. So he said that. Like I said, that was 2017. Here I am now, about to be promoted vice president of that company.
Man, hey. Hey, that's a hey, I wasn't ready for that story. Hey, man, that was a good ass story, man. Because I can tell just by you speaking about it how it's one of those defining moments that still make your voice kind of shake. You feel me?
It does, man, because a lot of people go through, these situations and they suffer in silence and they feel like nobody is there to relate to them. You know what I'm saying? Especially being in my position, because it still awes me. I'm not gonna sit up here and lie. It still awes me, and it still puts me in a position to like, okay, God, you want me to do this? Because I'm in the financial industry, and before I got into it, I'm working at a bank. But even while I'm working at a bank, making good money, I call myself the king of check cashing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I have 5 or 6 different accounts at check cashing companies, bro. But no want to pay another one, tower loans, all of these different things, debt out to wazoo. And here I am now, debt free.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Been debt free for about 2.5, 3 years.
Man, that's amazing right there.
For real. And I'm sitting here helping people on the same journey. And I think in the industry that I'm in, man, where only 5% of us is in this industry, only 5% black people. So the other 95%, they don't look like us, they don't talk like us, they don't understand the things that we've gone through to achieve the things that we've achieved in life thus far. So we need somebody relatable to understand the story, to where I got all these check cashing accounts, I got this tower loan, I got all these different things, I need help, but nobody's gonna understand me. But no, I do. I get it.
Hey, that's definitely real, man. Cause I definitely feel, as a person that works in healthcare, people that, and I've mentored students that's trying to come up, or people that's trying to get into physical therapy school or whatever type of health professional school. You know, it's some people that look like us that can't relate to us, I hope. And I feel like I'm one of those people. You're definitely one of those people that can be the leaders in the community, because we can put on so many different hats, and everybody in the room can somehow find some relatability to us, which is very important when somebody like you is being a staple in the community, that people are looking at you for leadership, especially financial, and blacks and all minorities need help financially. And you know, we definitely gonna get into that. So let's go. Let's change lanes a little bit. Okay. You know, I feel like millennials, we've been suffering with a lot. Not even just millennials, the whole world, but especially millennials, because we got student loans, we got the COVID pandemic, we got inflation, we got gas prices, we got jobs not willing to pay what needs to be paid for survival. You know. Talk to me a little bit about any advice that you can give any millennial or any person, basically, about how to navigate all this financially right now.
Man, honestly and truthfully, start now.
Yeah.
Because there's a cost to waiting. So, excuse me. So if you're the type, or if you're somebody who's listening to this or watching this, and let's say you want to be a millionaire, multimillionaire, you know, in 15, 20 years, start putting back now. You know what I'm saying? And don't put back in a savings account at a bank, because the savings account in the bank is paying you less than 1%.
Okay. So
you don't want to put your money there. The only reason that you save money is you save it for an emergency account in case of an emergency. Okay. But all of your extra money, start investing. Start investing in a mutual fund. You know, I know a lot of people I see on social media talk about individual stocks, all of these different things. I'm not a big supporter of individual stocks unless it's a certain stock, like Walmart, Nike, companies that you know are not going anywhere for the next 100, 200 years. But you start investing in mutual funds. In a mutual fund, you can have Nike, you can have Tesla, you can have Google, you can have Microsoft, you can have all of these different companies in one fund, and you're buying into that fund on a monthly basis, to where, okay, if one of those companies drop off in value, your money you don't lose value in your portfolio. Okay. So you want to start investing now. And I know it sounds easy. Okay, invest now, you know, all of these different things, but the key to investing is park your money, let it sit for at least 6 years, to where you're compounding interest. That's the key to investing, is compounding interest. To where compounding interest takes off, to where, okay, if you're investing and on average the market is getting 10, 12%, where you look at it, your money is doubling, you know, every 6 every 12 years.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? As opposed to in a bank account, you're getting less than 1%.
Yeah.
You know, when you take one, you divide into 72, which is the rule of 72, which is the banker's rule. Then 1 divided into 72 is 72, meaning that it's going to take 72 years for $1 to double and become $2.
Wow. We gonna be dead.
You're gonna be dead. Exactly. So that's why you don't want to park your money in a savings account at a bank, but you want to invest to where you're getting the 12%. Like during COVID, man, one of my accounts in my mutual fund got 27% returns.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
during COVID, did like you said the mutual fund, did it improve your mutual fund or
greatly?
So why did it do that though?
Greatly. Man, so here's the thing about investing, especially in the stock market. So during times of panic and
stocks go down.
They go down.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are like, man, let me take my money out.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, you keep it there because it's going to go back up.
Yeah, you keep it there. You buy more because everything's at a discount.
Right.
You know, like Amazon was it Amazon? It's some company. No, Tesla.
Tesla, yeah.
Tesla just announced like a 28-to-1 stock split that's going to take effect in like June. So if you can't afford to buy 1 share of Tesla stock, which is like $2,000 or something like that, wait until the split, buy in to it now, you have more bang for your buck.
So,
you feel me?
So to explain that to the people, wouldn't that be you just divide 2,028 times?
Basically.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So yeah, because I think it's very important that we break down, because like the community, they don't understand like certain stocks and certain stuff, and it's never been really taught to us, you know.
It hasn't.
Right. So talk to me a little bit about, you know, you said you went to a school. Were you teaching it to the youth, or were you just learning at the school?
No, I was just learning. Like I'm in school at Belhaven.
Okay.
You know, so I went back to school. I started my collegiate career at Jackson State. Wasn't the best student. Got an academic probation, academic suspension, all of that stuff. So that transferred into me being into corporate America, basically. So started in JP Morgan Chase in the student loan division. Then that I matriculated to Trustmark or what have you. So I didn't go to school for finances. I don't have a financial, you know, background or degree or certification. Well, I'm not going to say certification because I got it now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it doesn't matter. You feel me? But when I was at Trustmark, though, I went and I got my certifications while I was at Trustmark. So basically, the big wigs that was making all of the money, they had these certifications. Well, I had them, but I'm sitting there in a department that was, at the time, by me having these certifications, I was underpaid, but I really couldn't do anything.
Right. Because you just needed it.
Exactly. Exactly. I needed it.
Yeah.
You know, but now since I have them and I'm able to put people on game and teach them about the rule of 72 and, you know, why having the right kind and right amount of life insurance and what the true meaning of life insurance is for, which is not to bury, but to create an instant estate and instant wealth that's tax-free. You know, I'm able to put people on game, whether they get it from me or not, because at the end of the day, I just want to put you on game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because these are things, like you said, weren't taught in high school and college, and that's by design. Right. You look at the school system, they teach you how to be an employee. Teach how to be an employee.
Yep. Teach us how to be prompt on time.
Exactly.
Tuck your shirt in.
Exactly. What time to go to lunch, when you go to recess, you know, weekends off, holidays, all of these different things. Yeah.
Right.
They teach you how to be an employee.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's very important that we able to talk to somebody that look like us about money. Because and it's sad because a lot of us don't trust talking to black people about money. We always think it's some type of pyramid scheme, some type of I'm a forex trader, or or I got buy this and I'll give you $1,500 on your Cash App, or or some shit like that, man.
Those Christmas specials.
Right. So let's get on right into it about the life insurance, because I'm very interested in that. I have a life insurance plan with my job, but I'm interested in getting one outside of my job. Talk to me a little bit about the benefits of life insurance and how it could and how it could really help not only the person that, you know, is under, but their family and create generational wealth and stuff like that.
Yeah, man, you definitely should, outside of your job, get a life insurance policy, because essentially your job is the one who owns that policy.
Right.
And this is for anybody that has on-the-job insurance. So, excuse me, it's good to have as a benefit because you're not paying that much on a monthly basis. You know, your company is eating up a majority of the cost. But, you know, they're the ones who own it, and there's so many provisions to it to where you have to be an active employee, which means that you have to be clocked in order for that policy to pay out if you pass away. Right. So,
yeah, if you quit, if you fired,
if you're on workers' comp, if you take a day off, you're not considered an active employee.
Wow.
You're not considered that. And then the actual policy itself is 1 to 2 times your salary. So if you make $50,000 a year, then it's only maybe $50,000 to $100,000 of coverage. So if you're a married man or a married woman with kids, you know, $100,000 really ain't gonna go that far if you have a mortgage, if you have car note, if you have utilities, if you have kids' tuition, you know, childcare, all of these different things. $100,000 isn't gonna go anywhere.
Yeah, nowhere.
Nowhere at all, right? So getting life insurance is vitally important, man. And once I learned that when our people, you know, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, and even going back further, our people, we weren't able to get life insurance, but those that owned us was able to put life insurance on us. That's how property and casualty came about, because we were property and we were casualties. So by us being property, we die out. That policy would pay out to the slave owner.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that at all.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And so what's crazy, man, is before I got involved with the company that I'm with now, I actually interviewed with another company. I'm not going to say their name. I'll tell you after. You know, I'll tell you afterwards. But I interviewed with them. They said, hey, we want you to come in, you know, promise me all the bells and whistles, you know, this commission structure with this guaranteed salary. In about a year, we'll make you partner of our firm, all of these different things. So I started doing research on this company, and come to find out this company was the #1 life insurance company that sold slave insurance.
Wow. Damn. How did that information is on the internet?
It's on the internet. So the name of that company, it isn't the name
of it now.
Right. It's a totally different name.
Yeah, but it's still the root.
Yeah, it's still the root.
Yeah.
So I couldn't see myself partnering with that company. You feel me? But when it comes to life insurance, man, our families, we really weren't benefited with being taught or being sold the right type of life insurance, because basically you have 2 types of life insurance. You have whole life, you have term, right?
Okay.
So basically, just real quick rundown.
Okay.
Whole life is what was sold to our families. And the reason it was sold to our families because, #1, back then, low payout. So it really prevented our families from participating in the wealth transfer compared to, and it's the most expensive type of life insurance. So you may see, or you may have heard of or know of a family member, like a grandparent or great-grandparent, who had like a $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 life insurance policy that they've been paying for 20, 30 years, paying $50, $60, $70, $100 a month for that length of time, where if you calculate all of those premiums up, then the money that they spend is way more than the payout.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
But when it pays out, that $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, we're not participating in the wealth transfer, where the agent that sold it to us had a term policy, a term $500,000, million, $2 million life insurance policy itself, to where they had it in place for their kids, taught their kids, hey, here's what you're going to do with this money. Take 10% of this money. If it's $2 million, take 10%. No, take 1% of it, which is $20,000. You insure yourself for $10 million take the remaining balance, invest it to where now the interest from the investments is paying you to where you don't have to go and get another job. So now we're paying you from the interest. You're covered with this 20 million. You teach your kids to repeat the process to where the wealth is just compounding and compounding, and from the proceeds, businesses are being started, all of these different things.
Wow. Man, I'm gonna have to run this back after I finish recording, man. hey, everybody that's listening, get your pen and paper out, man. You dropping knowledge. So yeah. So they've been doing this for years, and we just kind of and we just getting kind of hip to it.
Yeah, and it's. I said I was gonna keep it real on this podcast when we talk, so I'm gonna keep it real.
Go ahead.
Like, I don't like whole life insurance.
Okay.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
Whatsoever.
Yeah.
Because it really doesn't benefit the middle class. Mm-hmm. Now you hear a lot of people talk about infinite banking, all of these different things. You can be your own bank, all of these different things, but they make it sound so good, make it sound so pretty, but you're really not knowing exactly what that means. So basically, with this concept, you're overfunding your life insurance policy. Uh-huh. So as opposed to paying $50, $60, $70, $100 a month, you're paying $400, $500, $600, $700, $800 a month. Mm-hmm. Now, these policies pretty much are designed for people that are already well off, who can afford to do these types of things. And mostly it's people that's in real estate, because they can take the money that's being built in the cash value, take it, buy other properties to where now they can fix those properties, create an instant cash flow, all of these different things, and then take the cash flow from that and then put it back into the policy to where
no drop off.
None at all.
Yeah.
For the average person, for the average black person that's in middle America, they can't afford that. They can't afford $200, $300, $400 a month. You know what I'm saying? But with whole life on a basic level, there's 4 evils to whole life. Number one, it's the most expensive type of life insurance, because you're paying for 2 things, but essentially you're going to get one. So you're paying for the cost of insurance, you're paying for the cash value or the savings component itself. So if your policy is $100 a month, 50 of that is going towards the cost of insurance. The other 50 is going towards your savings. But what they don't tell you is your savings does not start to accumulate until the 3rd year that your policy has been in existence. So for 3 years,
you just paying and no savings.
None at all.
Yeah.
No savings for you. But that pays extra commissions and policy fees for the selling agent. So that's number one.
Right.
Number 2, they say, you can borrow against your policy, right? Well, technically, that's just like you going to Bank of America or Chase and you're opening a savings account with $10,000 in it. The next week, you say, you know what? I need to take $5,000 out of my savings account. So you go to Chase, you go to the bank or whatever. He's like, hey, I need to withdraw $5,000 out of my account. They say, you know what, Mr. Walker, go see Joe, the loan officer. So you're looking like, Joe, the loan officer? What I need to go see Joe for? So, okay, so you go see Joe. You're like, Joe, I just opened this account last week. I put $10,000 in it. I need to withdraw $5,000. They told me to come see you. I don't know why. You're the loan officer. I don't need a loan. So they say, Mr. Walker, we understand. We see that you opened the account. However, we can't let you withdraw $5,000 out of your account. But what we can do is we can loan it to you. And by us loaning it to you, you have to pay us back between a 6 to 10% interest.
Wow.
Now, Nick, I'm not sure if you're anything like me.
Yeah.
But I'm 6'1", right now, 300 pounds. If anybody tells me
it's going to get physical,
nobody's going to lunch that day, nobody's getting off, I need answers. Why the hell do I need to borrow my own money?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
This is what these life insurance policies do, though. It's your money, but in order for you to access it, you have to borrow it and pay it back with a 6 to 10% interest. And if you don't pay it back, the only thing that they're going to do is they're going to subtract whatever you owed plus that annual interest. They're going to subtract that from your policy benefit amount. So let's say you have $50,000 in cash value, and your policy amount is $50,000. You took out a loan of $30,000, so that leaves $20,000 left in the savings. So you don't pay it back. They're going to subtract $30,000 plus the annual interest from the $50,000. Give your family the $20,000. And the remaining $20,000 that's in the cash value, the insurance company keeps.
Wow. That's a lose-lose situation.
That's a lose-lose.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a lose-lose.
Yeah.
And the fourth thing, bro, is let's say you don't take a loan. So you got the $50,000 in the cash value. You got the $50,000 life insurance coverage. The Lord calls you home. You would think you would get both, which is $100,000.
Right.
No. Your family gets a choice. Either you're going to take the cash value or you're going to take the coverage amount. The actual term of cash value insurance is cash surrender value. So you have to give up one for the other. You can't get both unless you're paying extra a month for that benefit, which is called an option B benefit itself. See, these are the things that the actual industry is not going to teach.
Yeah, they're not going to tell you that. Right.
They just promote it and say, you can borrow against your policy. You can do this. You can do that. It's flexible. You know, all of these different things. It's not as flexible as you actually think it is compared to term. To where term is from anywhere from 10 years to all the way to 35, 40 years, to where the rate is locked in for that length of time, and you can maximize on however much of coverage that you want. So if you want $500,000, $1 million, if you can afford it, $2 million, whatever the case may be, and you can afford it, like a young person, let's say 30 years old, non-smoker, you know, great physical fit, it may be $125 a month for $1 million life insurance policy, or $60 a month for $500,000 or $250,000, you know, $35, $40 for $250,000, $300,000 policy.
Yeah.
For 20, 30 years.
That ain't that expensive at all.
Not at all.
Right.
You're pretty much buying money at this point. Because the way the life insurance company works is they take what you're paying on a monthly basis, you multiply it by 12 itself, which is your annual premium. So let's say it's $50 a month. That's $600 a year that you're paying for $500,000 of life insurance coverage, right? Yeah. So you got a 20-year term. That's, you know, do the math on that. That's $12,000, $13,000, $14,000 total that you paid in for this $500,000 of coverage.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? You just bought money.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. So definitely I need to be looking at term life insurance policies. Yeah. And I'm gonna definitely be hitting you up. I'm gonna definitely be hitting you up about it because you know, research has shown from my research and all over the internet that millennials and Generation Z, we're not financially literate. So these things that you're explaining on this podcast episode today is very important because we really do not know this information. I'm literally, I've heard some of this stuff before, but I'm literally learning stuff from listening to you right now. So yeah, I'm very proud. And it's very important for you to be on my podcast right now, because I feel like these are the things that, not even just for my guests, like anybody I invite on the podcast, I want to learn from them, and I'm learning from you right now. So yeah, that's very important for me right now. So yeah, appreciate that content, brother. It's all good, man. You know, like just want to add to what I just said. Like the philosophy with term life insurance, man, is you buy term, you invest the difference of what you would have paid with a whole life policy. So let's say with whole life, for the same $500,000 of coverage, let's say with term you pay $100 a month. That whole life policy would be, let's say, $400 or $500 a month. Where if you can afford it, you take that $400 difference and you invest it to where over 20, 25, 30 year time period,
you have the cash equivalent of having $1 million or more, to where at that period, you don't need life insurance. You have cash money. So technically you're self-insured. Wow. You don't need a life insurance policy itself. Life insurance wasn't designed to be paid your whole life.
Yeah.
It wasn't designed for that.
Wow. Yeah. That's crazy, man. Hey, like I said, this is very important and informative content. So yeah, y'all make sure y'all tune in to this, man. So yeah, we gonna switch lanes a little bit.
Okay.
You been in the hip hop scene for a long time, man.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about your start in the hip hop scene. and then talk about how you progress and got to where you are right now, because a lot of people hit you up for advice. And are you still managing artists or working with artists?
Yeah, I'm working with an artist now.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you after the camera.
Yeah. I ain't gonna ask you who you working with.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you. You know who he is.
Oh, I probably do.
You know him.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So talk to me a little bit about your start, man.
Man, start, man, was honestly, I got to go back to high school, bro.
Yeah.
Even beyond then, because I've always loved music. I always loved music. When we would go out of town, the first thing that I'm doing is my dad's driving. I'm turning to the radio station just to hear what the radio station sounds like. Not necessarily what they're playing musically, but what they sound like, right? So as I grew to high school, there was this, I knew I wanted to be in the music business. So there was this book in my library called The Business of Music. I will always check this book out, read it front to back, back to front. Checked it out so much to where the librarian made me stop checking it out at least for a month to give somebody else the opportunity to check the book out.
Right.
Nobody did. So she eventually gave me the book. She gave it to me. So that's why I learned about A&Rs, about promo departments, all of these things. And I'm like, yeah, I want to work for a record label one day. Didn't know how at all. So basically I'm listening to the radio here and I'm like, okay, I don't know how I'm going to be in the music business, but I want these people to know who I am. That was my main thing. I wanted these people to know who I am. I wanted Alice Marie. I wanted DJ Finesse. I wanted Mailman. I wanted, all of these different people. The legends that's on radio to know who I am. So got to Jackson State, man, and I started hanging around this record store, this local mom and pop record store here on Ellis Avenue called Sound of Sound Music. My boy Mario ran the shop. Shout out to Mario. I'm not sure if he's still around in the Jackson area, but shout out to Mario if you listening to this. So just started hanging around him because everybody would come through his shop. Everybody from artists to record labels. Like this guy, no lie, this guy had record label reps come to his shop. The dude had like actual CDs of artists. He had like a 10-disc CD burner in the back of his shop, burning CDs and selling them to people when they come in. And the record label reps would come in and not have an issue with it. Wow. Didn't have an issue with it at all. Yeah. So I'm getting game from him. I'm like, dude, this is what I want to do. We built a relationship to where he will leave the shop and he will leave me there and people come in and I will handle the transactions, all of this stuff. So when different labor reps and different artists and stuff, like people from Houston, from Switch House, from Rec Shop, all of these different people came through, I'm chopping it up with them, exchanging phone numbers, all of this stuff. At this point, I'm just a fan. I'm like, damn, this 50-50 twin. This is Sad Warfare. This is Michael Watts. This is OG Ron C. I'm fanned out. Like, I just want your phone number, bro. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So man, I had a good friend at Jackson State called Derek. Derek Trimble, man, God rest the dead. He passed away a few years ago. He had a internship in '97. So I told him I wanted to be an intern. He was like, all right, come up to the radio station. So went up to the radio station. First time I met Mr. First time I met Quasi. You know what I'm saying? So I'm watching Mr., control the boards doing one of his breaks at the station. I'm just watching, I'm just observing him. So he going to commercial break and he's chopping down the things that he's doing with commercials and stuff. So I'm watching them and I'm like, hey, the next time you do that or next time you get ready to do that, let me do it. He was like, man, you don't know what you're doing. I'm like, nah, let me do it. He was like, I bet. So he let me do it and I did it. And he was like, who the hell are you? Like, you done this before? I'm like, nah, man, I'm telling you, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of people, I don't think a lot of people today have that element to where they do whatever it takes to get into the positions that they want to be in.
Yeah.
Because even before the internship, I was at Jackson State. I was also working at SkyTel. So back in the Gap, everybody had a SkyTel two-way pager. Yeah. Everybody had them.
Yeah.
Right? So I bought my own two-way. I had access to everybody's information, Nick. Everybody. Not only that information, but back then the statute of limitations is up, so y'all can't sue me for this. So I can go in and I can read everybody's messages.
Yeah.
Everybody, who they're talking to, what they're talking about, all of this stuff. So I'm pulling up Diddy's messages. I'm reading them, Birdman, everybody.
Damn.
They contact information, phone numbers, two-way information, all of this. So I got my own two-way. I'm jacking info.
Yeah.
Put them in my two-way. Right. So the internship at the radio station comes up. So I put a signature on my two-way that's like Big Swoll, the future of 97.7. And I would hit these people up. Yeah. And I would make up stories saying, you know, I met you in Atlanta, I met you here or whatever. They're like, all right, cool, whatever. So whenever they came through the station, I'd be like, yo, this Swoll, I met you over here. You know, we were two-waying. Oh, yeah, I remember. What's up, Swoll? What's going on? No lie. It was this. It was this. It was That's really wild. This, bro.
That's wild, bro.
You know what I'm saying? So my internship turned into an actual job in 97 to where I had Friday through Sunday from 7 to 11. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I sucked at radio. I didn't have a radio voice, none of that stuff. I was nervous as hell. It was me, my boy Big Vale, you know, which is my brother, shout out to Vale, DJ Doc, you know what I'm saying, on the ones and twos. It was just a vibe, a party, you know what I'm saying? But I took it, man. Everybody that came through the station built relationships with, definitely built the relationship with Scrap. And people don't understand, I don't think people understand just the depth of the knowledge of DJ Scrap, of DJ Finesse, cats that are here, because they have an extensive history, not just of Mississippi hip hop, but on a national and international basis. You feel me? To where Scrap was one of the founders of the first DJ coalition in the entire country, the Technicians, and everybody was a part of the Technicians, from Big Tigger to Envy to Enough, you know, the who's of DJs, Greg Street, you know, everybody was a technician. I was his intern.
Wow.
So when I saw him break free and leave the Technicians and start the Violator All-Star DJs with Chris Lighty, God rest the dead. They were business partners. I saw it when it happened.
Wow.
You feel me?
Yeah, that's history.
So just really watching how he moved. Like, Scrap would be DJing at the station and he would play like a Goody Mob record, and just to flex a little bit, he'd be like, watch this. He'll get on his next phone and he'll call CeeLo, be like, hey, CeeLo, I'm playing your record right now. And I'm like, nigga, this is CeeLo. How you get his phone? Like, okay, I want to be like him. I want to be like him. Yeah. Then I would go to, you know, Finesse parties when he would be at Jazzy's and all other spots just to be next to Finesse. I'm like, man, this is the dude that was crowned the #1 down south DJ in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really just wanted to have these cats know who I was. That's it. You feel me? So it was just that hustle, that drive, man, that really just translated into where I am now, man. Just being honest, you know what I'm saying? It's that foundation, you know, that led to the core DJs. The story with that man is, and how I got into the core DJs. So back in the Gap, the only way DJs really communicated with one another was by message boards. So the core DJs had a website with the message board. TJ's DJs had a website with the message board. Bum Squad DJs had the same thing. So the way that labels, DJs share music was by these message boards, and that's how they communicated outside of phones. So they would share music, talk noise, all of these different things. So shoot, I'm building relationships with all of these different cats. So at the time, I had become a Mason. So my picture for my profile was the Masonic emblem, the square compass. And I had my contact information, all of this stuff in my profile. So I get a phone call and my mom picks up the phone. She's like, hello. And she's like, you know, it's for you. So I pick up the phone and he's like, nigga, what's this on this picture? And I'm like, who is this? He was like, it's Tony Neal, the CEO of the Core DJs. I'm like, oh shit. Wow. I'm like, what you mean? What's that on my picture? He was like, bro, what you know about that? So I'm like, oh. So I'm like, nah, nigga, what you know about that? You know what I'm saying? And we just kicked it off from there, man. And built the relationship to me becoming a member of the Core DJs, man. You know, it was just as simple as that. But before the Core, man, I got a lot of stories, man. I don't know how much time you got. But before I was a Core DJ, like, Nick, I really mastered, I would say, and I don't say this arrogantly, but the art of networking.
Yeah, I can tell.
But not just networking, but creating the illusion of me being bigger than I actually was.
That's right? Important.
It is. Like, I mastered that shit. And I mean that because, like, I was one of the founding members of the Shadyville DJs. And Shadyville DJs is DJ Who Kids.
Really?
DJ crew. Yeah, wow. I was one of the founding members. So at the time, Joe Monopoly, who was managing Kanye at the time, and DJ Who Kid were business partners, and they wanted to create a DJ crew or whatever. So this is the MySpace age or whatever. So I'm posting things on MySpace or whatever, and somehow one of their assistants found my profile and was like, hey, Who Kid is creating a DJ crew. We want to extend the invitation for you to be one of the founding members. I'm like, shit, I bet. Cool. Yeah. So me, Charlamagne the God, and a few other cats were like the founding members of DJ Who Kids, Shadyville DJs. This is before the Core DJs. Wow. So
that's some names.
Yeah,
there's some names. Man, that's crazy, bro. I feel like you've been able to be in rooms that a lot of people can't even walk in. Like I think I saw you on like a Zoom call with like Dame Dash. Like,
yeah.
How was that?
Man, that was every Wednesday night, the Core DJs, we have conversations with the Core. Yeah. And we have different artists, different executives that come and just basically, excuse me, build with our DJs, talk with us. And we open it to all DJs, but sometimes it's closed off just to the Core DJs. But that wasn't the first interaction with Dame.
Really?
That wasn't my first interaction. That was my second.
Okay.
So the first time was years ago during the Skytel days, because he was one of the ones that I jacked his info. And basically, man, I coordinated a interview at 97 with Mr. and Dame Dash.
Wow.
On air, you know what I'm saying? Like him, Lisa Ray, a lot of cats, you know what I'm saying? I just utilized resources, man, not really knowing what the hell I was doing, but it really just formed into, all of this came from my love of music and me just wanting to have people know who I was.
And you had to have hella big balls, hella confidence to do some shit like use SkyTel to get in contact with some of the biggest names in the business. That's amazing, dog. That's hey, I feel it though. If you ever wrote a book, hey, that'll be one of the climaxes of the book, for real, because that's crazy, dog. So
it just morphed, man. It really honestly morphed, and it wasn't that I didn't intend for it to morph, because I wanted it to. I just needed a way in. And I think cats really need to, or should, find a way in. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to just relying on the internet.
Do you think the hip hop artists in Jackson and in the Mississippi area, you know, of course a lot of people say that we don't have the infrastructure here as far as musically, but I feel like, you know, sometimes people use that as like a scapegoat or an excuse. I feel like, you know, for instance, how you've attacked it and you know, hopped over fences to get to where you wanted to get. Yeah. Like, do you think the artists in the city, do you think they don't, well, I ain't gonna say they, not all of them, but do you think some of them don't have the drive to get where they want to get?
I'm not gonna say the drive, man. I think it's a mix of falling into the what they see on the internet and thinking that it should go this way so that I don't have to put any effort into elevating my career. You know what I'm saying? Because the infrastructure, it may seem like it's not there, but it's there. It's simple. And I know, being on my side, I could say that it's simple, and somebody that's an artist be like, how can you say it's simple? Because it's not that simple. I can get where they're coming from, but at the end of the day, there is a system that's in place. Not saying when it comes down to gatekeepers, all of that stuff, because that doesn't matter. But there is a system just to navigate the music business, and it's all built upon relationships. It's all built upon relationships, regardless of if you have $1 million, $1 million or not. It's built upon relationships. And I don't think a lot of artists really put in the sweat equity that it takes to build these relationships. You know what I'm saying?
I think some of them are prideful.
Yeah.
When a lot of times when you trying to get somewhere in life, you got to go through that stage of humility. Like it's not like you being a kiss ass, or you being humble in the most respectful way possible.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think a lot of that, I think just like you said, it's a lot of people, they think it goes a certain way. They think you go viral. That's how you make it.
Right.
I think it's definitely about building relationships.
It's all about relationships, man. That's how this industry moves. It's all about relationships. You can have $1 million, man, and if you come into everybody saying, hey, I got this amount of money, I got this, I got that, then everybody's going to look at you as money, and that's it, and not care anything about the advancement of your career. So anytime you go to that person again, you got to have a bag, because you approached them
with a bag,
and
you led with it.
Yeah, and you led with it,
right? As
opposed to having, and you don't even got to have the dopest music. You know what I'm saying? Like you can have okay music, but if you're coming to somebody, you know what I'm saying, and they see you working, like prime example, Dollar Black. You know what I'm saying? We was talking about him earlier. Cats, only a handful of people know this, but I turned away from Dollar twice from managing him. And it wasn't because I didn't think he was dope or I didn't like him as a person. At the time, honestly, I got tired of the music business.
Right.
I was tired of it. I was frustrated because I saw the shift that it was going into. And I was like, I don't know if I have the energy to put up with this shit anymore. You know what I'm saying? My son was born, you know what I'm saying? I was like, all right, I got to transition into bigger things to create legacy for him. You feel me? But when Shaka was the one who actually, shout out to Shaka, that's my brother. He was the one who came to me in Big Vale at our office at the time, man. And he was like, man, listen, this dude is special. Like, he is the one. And so I was like, man, you know, let's do it. Fuck it, let's do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I liked him as a person, you know what I'm saying? And Dollar was moving by himself. Like, even before I came into the picture, he already had his record, you know what I'm saying, on all hip hop. And it's hard as hell to get on all hip hop. You know what I'm saying? He was already doing things. So it it was simple. You know what I'm saying? He already had a vision. He already knew what he wanted to do, where he wanted to go. And one of the first conversations we had, I was like, all right, man, listen, honestly and truthfully, there's two ways we can do this. We can do the easy way, or we can actually build you as a brand and as an artist. That's going to take a little bit more time, but the reward is going to be much bigger. Which route do you want to go? He was like, man, I want to build.
Right.
I was like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? And so we just really created, you know what I'm saying, something. The whole BDE era was just something special, man. You know what I'm saying? To where, like, I opened the resources, you know what I'm saying, and the things that, like, he had the I's dotted, you know what I'm saying? He didn't necessarily have the T's fully crossed.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I came in and I just fulfilled the T. You feel me? Just filled in some missing pieces to the puzzle that he had already formed for himself. You know what I'm saying? Organized a few things, helped him with a few things itself. You know what I'm saying? And those are the perfect artist to manager types of relationships, to where, you know, you're not necessarily
overextending.
Yeah, and holding the artist's hand to A, B, C, and D. You know what I'm saying?
The hunger is already there. The energy is already there.
Yeah, and again, he already had a vision of what he wanted to do. You know, so it was simple. So it was easy for when I had Don Cannon coming into the market to DJ one of my partners' DJ parties at Freelance. You know what I'm saying? To where, shoot, dollar, tag along, come through. You know what I'm saying? To where visually in the city, Dollar Black is the only artist that Don Cannon is fucking with. So there's visuals of Dollar and Don Cannon at 97. You know what I'm saying? Like, shoot, we did an exclusive, just BDE family dinner at PF Chains. It was just us and Don Cannon. You know what I'm saying? Going to Miami, going to Miami, kicking it with Jim Jones, kicking it with Gorillaz, kicking it with all of these different cats, going to Atlanta, you know what I'm saying, and DJ Drama is there, Cannon is there, Drake is there, you know what I'm saying,
wow.
Meek Mill is there, you know, all of these cats, you know what I'm saying, are there, and not on no braggadocious stuff, but he's seeing, like, in a sense, it's about, I'm showing him who I am, because he's seeing these cats come to me like, Swoll, what's up? What's happening? What, you in the city? You can hit me up. And he's looking like, oh, shit. And I'm like,
I'm with the guy. That's crazy, dog.
Yeah. Oh, man, I was supposed to tell you the Miami situation with Dollar. So we in Miami, and we're at the Core DJs retreat in Miami. So we get there on a Wednesday, and we're posting that we're in Miami, and a promoter in Miami just hits us up randomly. It was like, yo, y'all want to come to KOD tonight? We're like, shit, hell yeah, King of Diamond, absolutely. So she put us on the list at King of Diamond. We go in, we don't have to pay. So I don't know if you've been to King of Diamond in Miami.
Nah, I haven't.
All right,
I haven't, people. I haven't.
Okay, all right. So imagine Sam's Club, the size of Sam's Club. That's a strip club.
Wow. Dang,
seriously.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Like multiple stages, multiple bars, like poles extended to the top of the building, and dancers are climbing to the top, dropping down, doing tricks, everything, right? Wow. So we're in there, music, blasting, all of this stuff. So one of the professional pole technicians, one of them, you know, she comes us to it. She's like, y'all from out of town. Y'all not from here. And, you know, Dollar's like, no, we ain't. Now the music is blaring. You can still hear this nigga's voice. Yeah. No, we ain't from here. So she stops in her tracks. Yeah. And she's like, how is your voice this deep and I can still hear you by this speaker? Man, you know.
Man, Dollar got the best voice on. Hey, he got the best sounding voice on the mic that I ever heard, man. Real talk. I tell him that all the time. Like, bro, your voice is like the best shit I ever heard, dog.
It was crazy, man. That was hilarious, bro.
But
funny.
But yeah, man. Hey, it's been great having you on, man. Man, we could sit here and talk. I know you got stories for days, bro. Hey, we gonna definitely have to do this again, man. But before you leave, I want you to kind of give us any literature or anything that we could find that could help us out with the financial literacy or anything like that.
Man, shoot, the best literature I would say online is honestly Google. But with Google, make sure you're paying attention to and following people that are licensed and certified in the industry, because there's a lot of cats out here that's saying do this, do that. They're not licensed. They're not certified. You know what I'm saying? Earn Your Leisure is a great resource to pay attention and watch. You know, salute to those brothers. Anybody that they have, you know, they're licensed, they're certified. Both of them, they're licensed and certified, but, you know, their business is moving so much to where they really don't have to participate in the actual financial business anymore. They're just giving game. You feel me? Yeah. But make sure that when you do your research and things like that, you're following people that are licensed and certified, that have a responsibility to providing you with accurate information.
Hey, man. Hey, it's been great having you on, bro. Hey, I done learned so much from this conversation, bro, about crazy stories, bro, informative content, man. I done learned a lot about you today, man. It's great having you on, bro. Hey, really appreciative to have Martin Swoll White on the podcast today. And everybody stay safe out there. Keep supporting the Verbal Intercourse Jackson podcast. Subscribe, share, and like. And we out here. Peace.